Welcome to our deep dive on buying power inside a Roth IRA. In this video, we will clarify what buying power actually is, why you might see a big cash balance, and how to turn that idle cash into long-term compounding growth. We will also cover common myths, provide a practical step-by-step allocation plan, and test your understanding with short quizzes. Let's begin by outlining what you will learn today. Here is the agenda for today's session. First, we will define buying power. Next, we will explore why a large cash balance might appear. Then, we will discuss why idle cash can be costly in a retirement account. After that, we will walk through an immediate allocation strategy, followed by a practical target allocation example. We will run through realistic numbers, test your understanding with quick quizzes, summarize key takeaways, and finally add an important disclaimer and next steps. Let us define buying power precisely. Buying power is the total of settled, uninvested cash currently sitting in your Roth IRA. It is not a line of credit, it is not margin, and it is not bonus money from your brokerage. It is simply your cash, fully available to allocate to investments once settlement has completed. Keeping this definition clear prevents confusion and helps you act decisively. Before we proceed, an important disclaimer. This video is for educational purposes only and does not constitute financial, tax, or investment advice. Investing involves risk, including possible loss of principal. Consult a qualified fiduciary advisor who understands your personal situation. Also note that tax laws, settlement times, and brokerage policies can change and may vary based on your region and account type. Now, let us discuss why you might see buying power in your account. First, you may have recently transferred funds from your bank to your Roth IRA. Once they clear and settle, they show up as buying power until you invest them. Second, your automated investing schedule might not have executed yet, leaving cash idle. Third, dividends from your holdings can settle into cash, increasing buying power. Fourth, cash from a recent sale becomes buying power once it settles. In short, buying power appears whenever cash is available, but not yet allocated to investments. This flowchart illustrates the journey from a bank deposit to compounding growth. Cash first arrives in a pending state at the brokerage, then settles and becomes buying power. From there, you place orders that convert this cash into invested positions. With positions in the market over time, compounding returns can begin. Notice the decision node. If cash remains as buying power, it loops back to placing orders. This emphasizes that unallocated cash needs active action to be invested so it can benefit from compounding. Let us tackle a few myths. One myth is that holding cash is safer over the long run. The reality is that idle cash tends to forfeit compounding returns relative to being invested in a diversified portfolio. Another myth is that you should wait for the perfect time, perhaps holding out for a dip. Historically, consistently staying invested has outperformed the average individual's attempts to time the market. A third myth is thinking buying power is extra or bonus money. In reality, it is just your own settled cash waiting to be allocated. The key principle is that time in the market beats timing the market, and the action rule is to allocate settled cash as soon as practical. Here is a side-by-side comparison. Idle cash generally earns very little, can lose purchasing power to inflation, and misses valuable compounding periods. It often signals inaction or delays. In contrast, invested cash participates in market growth potential, which historically can keep pace with or exceed inflation across long horizons. It compounds through reinvested returns and reflects adherence to a disciplined plan. Let us move to a straightforward playbook for immediate allocation. First, confirm your written investment strategy, such as 3 core ETFs with defined target percentages. Next, log into your Roth IRA and verify your current buying power. Then, if available, enable dividend reinvestment to keep distributions compounding. Allocate your buying power now to match your targets rather than waiting for a scheduled date. Choose order types that align with your plan, such as market or limit orders. Set or confirm automatic contributions for consistency, and review monthly to ensure new settled cash gets promptly invested. This pie chart represents a simple sample target mix. 60% is allocated to a total U.S. market ETF, 20% to a total international ETF, and 20% to a U.S. bond ETF. This is only an example, not a recommendation. The proportions reflect a common approach of emphasizing domestic equities while including global diversification and a stabilizing bond allocation. Your own mix should be determined by risk tolerance, time horizon, and personal objectives. Here is a worked example for $1,000 of buying power. With a 60% target for a total U.S. market ETF, you would allocate $600. With a 20% target for a total international ETF, allocate $200. With a 20% target for a U.S. bond ETF, allocate another $200. Tickers shown are examples. You would select the specific funds that align with your strategy and brokerage availability. To appreciate the cost of waiting, consider this simplified illustration. If $1,000 sits as cash for 12 months at roughly 0.5%, it ends near $1,005. If the same amount is invested and earns 8% annualized, purely as an illustrative example, not a guarantee, it ends near $1,080. The difference of about $75 in a single year seems small, but repeated delays across many contributions over 20 years can add up to thousands of dollars in foregone growth. The core rule is to avoid letting settled cash sit idle. Instead, deploy it promptly according to your plan. Quiz time. In a Roth IRA, what does buying power actually represent? Option A, a margin line of credit you can borrow. Option B, a promotional bonus from your broker. Option C, your settled, uninvested cash ready to allocate. Option D, funds that are still pending and cannot be used. You may pause the video now to think about the answer. We will discuss the answer in the next section. The correct answer is your settled, uninvested cash ready to allocate. Buying power is not borrowing capacity or a promotional credit. It is simply your available cash that has settled and is ready to be deployed into investments. Here is the second quiz. You notice several $100s in buying power. What is the best next step according to a disciplined plan? Option A, wait for the next auto deposit date. Option B, hold cash for a perfect dip. Option C, immediately allocate to your predetermined targets. Option D, buy a random trending stock. You may pause the video now to consider your choice. We will discuss the answer in the following section. The correct answer is to immediately allocate to your predetermined targets. Treat buying power as a prompt that your money is not yet working for you. By deploying it according to your plan, you maintain discipline and maximize the benefits of compounding over time. Here are the key takeaways. 1. Buying power is settled, uninvested cash, not a loan or a bonus. 2. Idle cash in a Roth IRA forfeits compounding and can fall behind inflation. 3. Time in the market generally outperforms attempts to time the market. 4. Aim for near full allocation that aligns with your written investment plan. 5. Allocate immediately when cash settles and consider enabling dividend reinvestment. 6. Review regularly to ensure new cash does not sit idle. Let us recap. First, define buying power correctly as your settled cash. Second, avoid waiting and allocate as soon as funds settle. Third, rely on a simple, diversified target mix that matches your risk tolerance. Fourth, automate contributions and reinvest dividends to keep compounding continuous. Fifth, review monthly so small actions translate into meaningful long-term results. Thank you for watching. If you found this useful, please like the video, share it with someone who is building their retirement plan, and subscribe for more investor education. In the comments, share your allocation approach and any questions you have so we can continue learning together.